Hello, fellow heirs. Welcome back to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, where we are reading through the book of Exodus. And today we will be reading the 14th chapter of Exodus in the NLT version. So without any further ado, let's start reading. Then the Lord gave these instructions to Moses. Order the Israelites to turn back and camp by Pi-hahiroth between Migdol and the sea. Camp there along the shore across from Baal-zephon. Then Pharaoh will think the Israelites are confused. They are trapped in the wilderness. And once again I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will chase after you. I have planned this in order to display my glory through Pharaoh and his whole army. After this, the Egyptian will know that I am the Lord. So the Israelites camped there as they were told. The next part is the Egyptian pursues Israel. When word reached the king of Egypt that the Israelites had fled, Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds. What have we done, letting all the Israelite slaves get away? They asked. So Pharaoh harnessed his chariots and called up his troops. He took with him 600 of Egypt's best chariots, along with the rest of the chariots of Egypt, each with its commander. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, so he chased after the people of Israel, who had left with fists raised in defiance. The Egyptian chased after them with all the forces in Pharaoh's army, all his horses and chariots, his charioteers, and his troops. The Egyptian caught up with the people of Israel as they were camped beside the shore near Pi-hahiroth, across from Baal-zephon. As Pharaoh approached, the people of Israel looked up and panicked when they saw the Egyptians overtaking them. They cried out to the Lord and said to Moses, "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Weren't there enough graves for us in Egypt? What have you done to us? Why did you make us leave Egypt? Didn't we tell you this would happen while we were still in Egypt? We said, 'Leave us alone. Let us be slaves to the Egyptians. It's better to be a slave in Egypt than a corpse in a wilderness.' But Moses told the people, 'Don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today. The Egyptians you see today will never be seen. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm.'" The last and final part is about escaping through the Red Sea. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to get moving. Pick up your staff and raise your hands over the sea. Divide the water so that the Israelite can walk through the middle of the sea on dry ground. And I will harden the heart of the Egyptians as they would charge in after the Israelites. My great glory will be displayed through Pharaoh and his troops, his chariots and charioteers. When my glory is displayed through them, all Egypt will see my glory and know that I am the Lord." Then the angel of God, who had been leading the people of Israel, moved to the rear of the camp. The pillar of cloud also moved from front and stood behind them. The cloud settled between the Egyptian and Israelite camp. As darkness fell, the cloud turned to fire, lighting up the night. But the Egyptians and Israelites did not approach each other all night. Then Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the Lord opened up the path through the water with a strong east wind. The wind blew all that night, turning the seabed into dry land. So the people of Israel walked through the middle of the sea on dry land, with walls of water on each side. Then the Egyptians, all of Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and charioteers chased them into the middle of the sea. But just before dawn, the Lord looked down on the Egyptian army from the pillar of fire and cloud, and he threw their forces into total confusion. He twisted their chariot wheels, making their chariots difficult to drive. "Let's get out of here, away from these Israelites," the Egyptians shouted. "The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." When all the Israelites had reached the other side, the Lord said to Moses, "Raise your hand over the sea again." Then the waters will rush back and cover the Egyptians and their chariots and charioteers. So, as the sun began to rise, Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the waters rushed back into its usual place. The Egyptians tried to escape, but the Lord swept them into the sea. Then the waters returned and covered all the chariots and charioteers, the entire army of Pharaoh. Of all the Egyptians who had chased the Israelites into the sea, not a single one survived. But the people of Israel have walked through the middle of the sea on dry land, as the water stood up like a wall on both sides. This is how the Lord rescued Israel from the hand of the Egyptians. And the Israelites saw the bodies of the Egyptians wash up on the seashore. When the people of Israel saw the mighty power that the Lord had unleashed against the Egyptians, they were filled with awe before him. They put their faith in the Lord and in his servant Moses. And that concludes the reading of Exodus 14 in the NLT version. So again, the Lord had purpose in what he was doing, and he did it all to show his glory. Pharaoh seen his glory, the Egyptians seen his glory, and they all had to profess that God was the Lord. So my prayer is, now with all the things that are going on, if there are anybody that's coming against God's people, that he will show them his glory, that they will confess that he is the Lord, and their hearts will be turned, and they will accept Christ as Lord and Savior. And that is it for this chapter. Thank you so much for listening to Weekday Wind Down with the Word.